Hey guys, this is Anne from Metal Wani, and today we're here with AXEL RUDI PELL. So your new album, Game of Sins, will be released in a few days. 2 singles are already out, King of Fools and Sinball Blizzard. So how was the fan response so far?
It's great, absolutely amazing. Most people like it. They say, wow, that's very cool. We're actually looking forward to hear the complete album and stuff. And yes, I'm getting very excited and nervous. But this is my 17th baby, so I'm really proud of it this time. Yeah.
It's really impressive. I mean, within the last 6 years, you've released 4 albums. What's the source of inspiration for you to write such challenging material every time, and how comes that you don't need to recharge your batteries after every album?
Because I can, because I'm a genius. I'm kidding. Look, I don't need to recharge my batteries because, I'm always writing songs. It's very easy for me. What happened when we finished the recording of Game of Sins? I think it was 2 days after. I got home and picked up my guitar again and just for rehearsing a bit and playing a little bit, and sometimes 2 riffs came to my mind, and I'm always recording little snippets here and there, little bits and pieces on my cell phone on the voice recorder, so I already have 2 riffs for the next album already, so I'm always writing, and sometimes it's just the magic in the air. I don't know where it comes from, but I don't need any big inspiration, sometimes, like I said, the flame is there inside me, the flame and the fire is still burning, yes. Wow.
So you basically don't sleep, ever?
Yeah, I sleep, definitely. Sometimes I sleep too much, No, I'm kidding.
What was actually the weirdest place that you ever wrote a song?
Oh, sorry, the weirdest place?
Yes.
At a grocery store and getting some food for tonight, not for tonight, for that day's night, I stood there, I couldn't remember which meat I bought, but I stood there, suddenly a melody came to my mind, a chorus melody, and I took out my cell phone and I sang it right there, and the guys, so the lady sat behind the corner, behind the desk at the grocery store. They looked at me like I'm an alien, what the hell is he doing there, I just want to get the melody, it could be that 5 minutes after I would forget this great melody, so that was the weirdest place, I think, as far as I remember.
Amazing. So how's your usual songwriting process? Does the melody come first, or do you have a certain idea, concept for a song in your head at first?
No, nothing at all. Like I said, sometimes it's a little riff which I play on the guitar, suddenly come to my mind, or a melody, like I said, when I was in a grocery store. Sometimes, things are in the air. That's a magic, When I'm collecting these little bits and pieces over a period of several months or years, and then at some point I sit down with a big sheet of blank paper in front of me, and I'm making notes. I listen all through the little bits and pieces, and I make notes. Idea number 1, crap. Idea number 2, okay, and I'm going through maybe 300 different kind of little bits and pieces, and then I make notes to myself. Wow, idea number 68, it's a fast opening track, maybe it's an amazing riff in F sharp minor, and I make notes, and then I say, maybe idea number 263 has a great chorus, it's in the same key, maybe they both fit perfect together, and then I sit down and start writing the real actually songs, I sit down, put on my digital machine, and I'm working on the track till it's done, yeah.
Wow. So, since the beginning of your solo career, you never really looked back, and you've always continued to produce your heavy metal solos that you're so well known for these days. But how do you manage to keep that old school sound and yet always explore new areas? So that
I don't know. I don't have a clue, to be honest. It's like it's a natural feeling which comes out of myself, and the whole production thing is a little bit not stuck in the 80s, because we're working now with digital equipment. We're not stuck to analog one. It's very easy to record the songs actually these days using a digital equipment. So it's a natural kind of thing. Yeah.
So you chose the Bob Dylan cover, All Along The Watchtower, for your album. It's a very refreshing version, kind of hard rocky, and above a notch the classical Jimi Hendrix version. So why did you choose that particular track?
You know, when I grew up, when I was a young boy, that was, I think, 360 years ago, I suddenly heard a track called All Along The Watchtower, performed at that time by Jimi Hendrix, and I was very impressed and said, "Wow, this is actually a cool track," you know, and it got stuck in my head for such a long time period right now, and I thought to myself, I think now is the time to make a cover version out of it, because you know the record, I'll tell you the truth, it's all shit, I said. No. The record company always asking for bonus tracks for a digipack or a special edition release at some point. And I said, well, I ever had this song in my mind to cover it, and why not? Why not doing it now? But every time I cover a song, it has to fit to the ARP style. So we changed the arrangement completely. We're starting with a psychedelic kind of weird sounding guitar at the beginning, then we go back into the ballad kind of thing, and then everything starts with the main riff of that song, you know. So it actually has to fit our own style. I really loved that track, and that was the reason why we recorded it.
So what were the first songs that you were able to play on your guitar when you were a teenager? Was it actually one of those songs?
I think the first song which I learned, I don't was self-teach at the very beginning, I had a teacher for about 9 months or 10 months, and he taught me all the major chords of the guitar, and I think the first song I really was able to play was House of the Rising Sun, which was not easy because it's a picking one, so it was like I had to pick the guitar and I didn't do it perfect, but he said, oh, it's okay, let's move on to the next one. I can't remember which one was next, but I think that was the first track I could play.
And what was the first one that you performed on stage, and maybe just at a music school?
Oh my God! Yeah, I think the first song I performed on stage actually happened in 1974. When that was my very first band. They called I think Firebird. Yeah, Firebird. Right, I can't remember. And we rehearsed. It was a youth club, and we rehearsed in the cellar. There was a small room, and sometimes they have some kind of. There was a club on top, some kind of discotheque kind of thing, and the equipment broke of the discotheque, and the owner, the people were still in, and the owners went down to the cellar where we were rehearsing and said, hey, you have to go up and play. We said, hey, we're just there for 3 weeks, we can play 3 or 4 songs, then do it twice or 3 times, but I don't want to let the people go out. And they said, okay, we tried. So we went upstairs, put on the equipment, and we played. Actually, unfortunately, nobody ran away, so we haven't been that bad, I think, as far as I remember. Yeah. But the first song I really can't remember. I think it was an own composition, something we did at that time. I think we played Wishing Well by Free in those days. Maybe that was one of the first tracks I ever played live.
Oh. Well, you got pushed into cold water then. Just started. Okay, to get back to the album. Johnny has been the voice of your music for the past 15 years, and he once again nailed it on this one. I mean, his performance on King of Fools is just fantastic. So how do you manage to always push him over his boundaries still after so many years?
Because I pay him such a big amount of money. No, it was natural feeling to him, because when I write songs, when I complete writing my song, I'm always thinking about Johnny's voice fitting to this kind of stuff, I don't want to write in, I know definitely since 15 years which keys Johnny prefers with his voice and which he can't do, which is say, Axel, that's just too high, I have to squeak and blah, 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 I can't do it. So, it's a very natural output, when we go over all the songs, before he starts to sing it or recording it, it's very easy, he exactly knows what I mean. He's given, I do a kind of a guide tracking for him in the studio, some kind of pilot voice, or let's call it guide voice or anything, with my personal voice, but I'm not a singer, it's just for the melody things and stuff, and for all the syllabi, he has to sing all the pronunciation about this going up and high and down or whatever, so it's a very natural feeling. He said, yeah, I know what you mean, and then me going over it, and he sings it to me, and he say, wow, this is great. Sometimes he say, oh, Axel, can we change the line a bit at the end, the melody? I said, okay. And then he tries something else, and I say, well, that's cool. Or I say, no, I think I prefer that way, which I had in mind. But anyway, yeah.
Many guitarists are lauded these days because they treat their instruments like burning lightsabers, basically. Technically, they may be really great musicians who can play all the notes, but few produce memorable riffs these days.
Yes.
So, what's your opinion on that entire guitar world these days, with everyone trying to go technical as hell?
Yes. In my opinion, those guys suck. Be very true here. Because, I'm always thinking about, I don't have to show the world how fast I can play a solo, There's no fucking need for it, I know how fast I am. I mean, I tend to play fast, very fast when I started with a guitar, or maybe like 10 or 12 years ago, I said, this is not fast enough, I have to go faster, because Ingrid can do it faster, so I have to play it faster too, faster than Ingrid, This is bullshit, because, I'm a musician, I don't see myself as a guitar hero or guitar something, I don't know. I'm just a regular guitar player who was able to write actually good riffs and good songs. And the main point is that the song, the melody and the structure of the song, it's more important than to have a solo which is fast, because nobody likes it to, it's boring, kind of boring for me. Sometimes people are writing songs around a good guitar solo, So this is bullshit, I always say the melody and the structure of the song comes first, to get you by the balls. I'm sorry to say that, but anyway, yeah.
Then what's your opinion on switching to 8-strings guitars, or bands like Meshuggah even heading for 9 strings?
Did you say 8-string guitar?
Yes.
No, I never heard of that. Unfortunately, this is shitty too. I think, the fingers are, they're limited, so you can't actually play 8 or 9-string guitar, maybe together with little feet. I don't know. It's bullshit. I stick to my 6-string and that's enough.
So both Lemmy and David Bowie died recently.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you have any personal stories about them to share?
No, unfortunately not, because I never met both of those guys personally. I never met them. I always heard stories about that. They're both very nice people, and I heard stories especially about Lemmy, because my producer Charlie Bauerfeind, he recorded several Motorhead albums and produced several Motorhead albums, and he told me funny stories about Lemmy. That they always had this slot machine with him, and stuff. He actually seems to be a very nice guy. So, but unfortunately, I never met those guys. But it's very sad that they gave up. So this is a kind of weird thing about all this health issues and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, 2015 was a pretty hard year for metal, I guess.
That's right.
Anyway, but 2016 is just about to begin, so you have a big European tour coming up.
Yes.
Do you also have plans to go overseas, or are you concentrating on Europe?
Yeah, I'm mainly concentrating on Europe, because the actual problem is that, I have 2 Americans in the band, Johnny Gioeli and Bobby Rondinelli. They're both from the East Coast now, but they're always telling me, I said, Johnny, what do I think about a small U.S. tour, taking several? So he said, actually, you will waste a lot of money, because if you're lucky, 100 or 100 people will show up, and that's it. But it wouldn't cover the cost, So, and I asked Bobby when he was when he got in ARP 2.5 years ago. I said, Bobby, what do you think about playing live in the States? And he said, yeah, man, we can try, but you will waste some money. Lots of bucks will get lost. I said, okay, thank you. So maybe at one point we can play a festival or something. I don't know.
Okay, okay, Australia is even too far, or Asia.
Oh, that's too far, yeah, absolutely. Because, Australia is the same situation. In Japan, I lost my last record contract in Japan in 2002, and the sales go down, it went down and down and down. But I'm not the only one. You still see bands who used to be very huge in Japan. They actually now, they're selling nothing, they had multi-platinum selling awards, and now they're lucky to sell 10,000 units, so it's pretty much over in Japan, unfortunately.
It's getting difficult these days in the music industry, no matter where.
That's right.
Anyway. Thank you so much, Axel.
Thank you. Bis dann. Tschüss.